We've seen a few standard C library functions that deal with strings. In other words, strlen, strcat, strcpy, strcump. Remember those? There are also several functions in standard C library that deal with characters, not strings, but characters. Let's have a look at some in this particular module. First of all, we've got character classification functions. In other words, how to characterize functions that are available to you. You can say, okay, here's a character. Now, is it a lowercase character? Is it an uppercase character? Is it a digit? Is it a letter at all? Is it a punctuation character? Is it some kind of white space character? In other words, a space or a tab or a new line, those sorts of things. Is it a printable character? I mean, is it visible? Does it actually have a printable representation? There's a whole collection of classification functions that give you a simple yes-no answer to each of those questions. When I say yes-no, it gives you a 1 or a 0 answer. In other words, it's a Boolean function. They give you back an integer, and that integer can be used in an if statement or a while loop or something like that to determine whether the character is or is not part of a given set. Here's an example. If isUpper of ch, let's say ch is a character, and you need to find out if it's an uppercase character, then you could do that. IsUpper will return a 1 if ch is an uppercase character. In other words, the if statement will be true, and so you can write the code accordingly to deal with that. Okay, there are also character conversion functions, converting uppercase to lowercase and vice versa. An example of that is here's a character, and I can convert it to uppercase if I need to. That's a pretty straightforward one. They're much simpler than the character classification functions. Okay, let's have a look at some code examples. Okay, here's a function that I've called ctype.c, the C in ctype being character type.c. And it is going to illustrate how to use isUpper and toUpper and all those ones I just mentioned a moment ago. Okay, so we go and get a character from the keyboard. Now we can do this sort of behavior. We can say, if isUpper of ch, then printf, this is an uppercase character. Okay, don't forget the closing quotes. Now, would you want to put an else on that? You know, what would be the case if that was not true? Do you want to say else what? It is not an uppercase, it's a lowercase. Maybe it's a lowercase. Well, the opposite of uppercase is not lowercase, because if it's not an uppercase character, it means it could be a whole bunch of things. It could be a digit, it could be a punctuation character. There's a whole bunch of things it could be, not just a lowercase character. So we could do the same sort of thing, copy and paste for is lower. We could do it like this. We could say else if lower, else if is lower. Then we could say this is a lowercase, because they are mutually exclusive. We could then say else if, I'll do a bit more copying and pasting here. And this will be, let's say, digit. It's a digit. And a bit more. And we can say is space. This is a space. Well, it's not a space exactly, it's a space type char. It could be a tab, it could be a carriage return, and so on. Okay, that's enough for now. Now before we can go and compile this, all these functions here, is space, is digit, is lower, is upper, they all require another include file to be present. And it's this include file, ctype.h. If you don't put that in, your program will not compile, and we don't want that. So let's try and compile it now. Compile, no errors, good. How about run? See what this does. Type in a character. How about the letter D? This is an lowercase character. Okay. Well, at least it's working, even if the grammar isn't entirely correct. So that's a good few examples of the is upper, is lower collection of functions. Let's now have a look at 2 upper and 2 lower. We can say, now if this is an uppercase character, we can convert it to a lowercase character, like this, 2 lower of that, and then we can print out the lowercase equivalent. Look reasonable? Sure, like that. Okay, let's see if that runs. And run. Now, for that bit to be tested, we'll actually have to type in an uppercase character. So we'll type in the letter D. This is an uppercase character, lowercase is lowercase d. Very, very nice. Okay, so there's nothing tricky about any of this. These are very, very simple functions. So that's all I'll talk about on that topic. I think that's the end of this chapter. Let's go and have a look